So he goes in, and he's kind of looking around, and the guys, one of the guys he recognized was the head of the FBI that he dealt with about a dozen years before. Mm-hmm. The guy sees him and kind of walks over to Chris and kind of looks around and says, under his breath, says, Chris, man, I don't know who you ticked off, but they are after you. And he said, I could tell that guy was not in charge, and he's the highest ranking guy in the FBI in the Nashville area, at least at the time was, for computer and fraud and so forth and so on. Yeah. So Chris doesn't know exactly what's going on, but they take him, they take 3 computers out of his house, they take some other files, and Chris tried to tell him not to take them through the front door. He said, no, we're taking this stuff. He said, don't take them through that door, and they walk out anyway. Chris is a pretty smart guy. He has a system set up on his front and back doors that wipes anything off his computers if you leave without proper permission. So the information they took off his computers is worthless to them because there's nothing on there.
Right.
And I said, that's not a bad system to have, actually. Not that I'm a hacker, but,
right.
If you're leaving with something you ain't supposed to, not a bad idea.
Yeah.
So they take him in handcuffs. They take him downtown to Nashville, and he lives about an hour and 20 minutes.
A lot of people that.
Oh, yeah, I don't know what it costs.
It's confiscated, that's got anything.
Incriminating or otherwise.
Questionable, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it may just be personal information.
They can put stuff on there or whatever and try to set you up, so at least that would protect you
from that.
Because if it was taken out of your house, it would be erased.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
So they take him. He lives about an hour plus away from downtown. They take him in the back of it. He said he was in a van that didn't have any windows in it. They put him in there. They drive him. When he gets there, they pull into a garage.
Black man.
They pull him into a basement, a garage, and he takes him out. They take him into the elevator. He's going down the elevator. He says, nice federal building. He said the guys looked at him like how did you know? They didn't say it.
He didn't see how he got there.
Right. But Chris said, I've done work in that building many times, and I recognize the elevator. And they kind of freak like
inside of the building.
Yeah. So he's in the federal building downtown Nashville. They take him to a basement. They question him for about 3 hours. He finally said, guys, and he was can't use language like that on the radio, but basically get the F out of my face or charge me or whatever. I haven't done anything wrong. All that money that's in my account I've made, it's not from whatever you guys are accusing me of. They mentioned my name. Ask other folks, what are you doing with Dennis, and so forth and so on. Okay? They freeze, by the way, all of his assets. They freeze his
who freezes it?
Well, we don't know who it is. The only
somebody in the government.
Somebody is, because he has a line of credit, like
what do they tell him in his bank when he tries to get money?
Well, his banker calls. He says, man, I don't know. I've seen people that didn't pay taxes and stuff, and the IRS comes down, but he says it takes them a few weeks to get everything to freeze. Yeah. He said these guys froze it instantaneously, and something I've never seen, this is a quote from his banker, they froze your credit. Now, I don't know what that means. I don't know how that happens. The banker doesn't exactly know, but he says he couldn't do anything.
They can freeze your credit, so that would make it hard for you to buy anything because
you are SOL.
Yeah, that's great.
So now the banker knows Chris well enough because he has enough, dollars in the bank that, Chris calls me. He says, hey, I had a couple $100 that he was supposed to repair something, and I still had to balance about $400 out of it.
Yeah.
And he said, man, can you give me that in cash? I said, yeah. So, because none of his credit cards, ATM, nothing. Absolutely nothing. So I got that to him, and then his banker said, I can't loan you any money or anything else through the bank, but I know you're good for it because I know how many dollars you got in my account. So if you need to, I'll personally borrow like $25,000 in my name and give it to you, and then you pay me back. He said, well, let's see what happens. His attorney had called the federal courthouse and set up a